joining this session. Okay, to introduce myself, probably Anthony already mentioned, my name is Smita Mori. I have been working into IT industry since more than 10 years now, and my major experience has been into testing. So it's like starting with the web manual, web automation, mobile manual, mobile automation testing, some hands-on on it, and integrated white box testing, unit testing, uh, different web services testing. So like different flavors of testings over the period of 10 years. And now my role is of a QA manager. I'm working with a MNC, and have been really got very good opportunities in that organization, and looking forward to work with you, to interact with you on this platform. And I'm really thankful to Anthony for giving this opportunity to me. Okay, so since this is our very first session, we are just going to cover the introductory part, introduction on mobile testing. So before we move forward, I would like to explain or go through the agenda items, what we are going to cover through all the group sessions that we plan for mobile testing. So as I said, our very first session is going to focus mainly on mobile testing basics. Now, since the topic is about mobile testing here, the prerequisite is, a person should have at least basic understanding about software testing, and have some hands-on on it, so that if testing concepts are very clear, you can easily adapt and learn mobile testing as well. So in the introduction, we'll see, what is mobile testing, why do we think it is really important, how to become a good mobile tester, and the way we have, software testing development, software testing life cycle, software development life cycle. Similarly, how it is about the mobile applications as well. We'll see different types of mobile applications. I'm quite sure few of you must be already aware of it. And some developer tools which can really aid us in conducting mobile testing. Second session, we would like to focus more on the simulators, emulators, and cloud emulators. Why this is important, we are going to cover that in the first introductory session, and then the how part comes in. And that's where we would like to plan second session to focus more on the simulators, emulators. And of course, the most important part in mobile testing is the gestures. How do we refer those gestures? Using gestures, what all transactions or navigations that we can do? How to capture screenshot, because this is one of the very important, though it is simple, but the most important part which is used by a tester, because whenever we have to log a defects, we have to capture evidences, and that's where capturing screenshots is going to help us. We'll also look into the network throttling, how it is to be done. And last but not the least, we would like to focus on the NFRs. NFRs is the non-functional requirements with respect to the mobile application. So the way you have been testing the web applications, right? If you do cross-browser testing, performance, security, accessibility. So all those types are also applicable here for mobile applications. So that we are going to cover in our last session. We have also mentioned about the web page performance. So maybe by end of the session, I will share one YouTube URL with you, wherein I have recorded basics on how to use a web page test tool for the mobile web performance testing. So maybe you can get just a gist of it before we cover it in more detail. All right, so this is the agenda that we are going to cover through the workshop, and I think Anthony will share more details about how do we go ahead regarding the detailed schedule and all. And as I said, like a prerequisite is person should have some hands-on on some knowledge about the software testing. That would really help. And I would like to have this session bit interactive, so that at any point of time, if you feel like asking some clarifications, maybe you can interrupt me, but would prefer to answer them at the end. All right, so let's get started.
Right. Thanks a lot, Smita. I think people who have got a good insight of what we are trying to do during the next 2 Saturdays and Sundays. Folks,
Okay.
This is your place. I mean, whatever queries you have related to this workshop. So we are actually planning it for a 2-phase workshop. One will be the manual part, which Smita is going to take care of during the next Saturdays and Sundays. So it'll be from next Saturday onwards. And after that, immediately we'll be starting with mobile testing automation as well. So that will be a continuation, that is phase 2 of this program. So I think all of you who have joined here have the PDF which I had shared, which contains the clear course content of what it is. And now you should have got an idea. So you can jump in and raise your queries related to the course content or related to the workshop. This is the time probably.
All right. So these are the agenda items. I think we already covered this. All right. So in the introductory session, what I'm planning to cover is what are the trends in mobile devices, why mobile application testing is really required, then what exactly is mobile testing, what challenges you may face while you go about conducting mobile testing, what are the different types of mobile applications, and some references and contacts. Okay, so mobile usage trend. Now this is the statistics which was captured in 2016. Okay, if you see the graph, you will understand the number of users that are using smartphones. Okay, that has surpassed the limit of the desktop application. So here you can see with the circle, it has been highlighted. By 2014, it has anyway surpassed the web use of web application. So what does this statistic tell us? This tells us that now every individual, almost out of 10, if you see, 8 individuals do have smartphones and they use it rigorously. Say for example, you have to pay a bill, maybe electricity bill. Nowadays you have the applications available, right? Even if you have to pay money to someone, you can directly use a Paytm app, right? So applications, native applications or hybrid applications over smartphone are used like anything. Even the enterprise application, big enterprise applications are now moving to mobile. Okay, say for example, ICICI Bank app, right? So you can do any transaction within few seconds using the smartphone and using the app that is available on your smartphone. So the usage of mobile has increased, and this increase is actually leading to the increase in demand of developing mobile applications. And of course, when it comes to development, we also have to test it, right? So just understand what is the demand in developing and testing the mobile application, and hence a need has been arise now that we should now know mobile testing very well so that we can really go ahead and grab those opportunities. Okay, native application, yes, Rahul, we are going to cover that in our further slides. We'll come to it. All right. So as I already mentioned, right? So this slide actually talks about different types of mobile testing needs. Okay, why do we need mobile? Okay, first photo that you first pick that it represents is the increasing mobile users. We cannot really live without it, right? Increasing customer demands. Faster time to market is very important. Now, why this is important? Okay, so whenever you come up with some idea, you immediately can implement it and you can immediately get it into production. Now, how you can make it faster is the fastest mode is to develop those as a native application. So once you develop a native application, you can immediately upload to a Play Store and it is available to users. Then another pick here is resembling the number of devices. Okay, so here you can see it is Android, iPhone, Blackberries, Windows, right? So whenever we have to do a mobile testing, we also have to achieve the coverage. So but there are different applications which are compatible for different set of operating systems. So if you have to cover, achieve the coverage, then you have to have all this set of devices. And the next pick, it actually represents the transition of web, which we already talked about. As I mentioned, that a lot of enterprise applications are now moving to mobile. Okay, so this is the reason why we have to really, get into mobile testing now, and this is the need of market. All right. Okay, so when we say mobile testing, is it really different from the web application testing? Yes, it is. But then the testing types that we have to cover or the testing techniques that we have to apply is similar to that which we cover into web application testing. Okay. So as it is mentioned here, we have to cover the functional testing. Okay. And then the responsive UI is the most critical aspect. For example, you must have seen the Twitter application, right? So if you open it on web, how does a UI look like? And the same application, if you have to open it on mobile, it shouldn't really change the UI of it. I mean, it has to be responsive in such a way that it should be very easy to use. It should be really, the usability perspective that that application should look good enough, and that is the responsive UI testing. So this is very important and very critical for into mobile testing. Then next comes the performance. Yes, performance is equally important. Compatibility, as I mentioned, we have to cover the mobile testing on different set of devices. Now, when we say devices, it comes with different hardware configuration, and that is where we have to check the compatibility. Security aspect is very important. When we say big enterprise applications are moving towards mobile or the native applications, then the security is again the most critical factor. We took an example about the ICICI Bank, right? So how important it is to do the transactions, and it is very important that these transactions are secured, because you're playing with the money, right? So we are doing such critical transactions using smartphones, so it has to be secured. So the security aspect is also important in mobile testing. Devices, as I said, we have to achieve the coverage. So we have to test mobile applications on different set of devices. Interrupt testing. This interrupt testing means, for example, if you are running an application, and all of a sudden you get a call, right? So how does your application behave in case of such interruptions is to be tested. So this is the interrupt testing that we will be covering. Installation. When I say installation, how do you really install any web application on your mobile? So it is you go to Play Store and you have to download it, right? So when you download, at that time your application is getting installed on your mobile devices. So again, this is also another important thing. One of the checklist points in mobile testing that we cover. Usability, it is actually related to the UI testing, which I mentioned in responsive UI. So both go hand in hand. All right. So overall, functional and non-functional testing is required. All right. Okay. Coming to Rahul's question, I think he had asked about the native application testing. So here we are going to cover the different types of applications, mobile applications. So they can be categorized mainly into three types. The first is native, second is mobile web, and third is the hybrid application. All right. So what is native application? Native, I'm quite sure most of you are already using it. For example, Twitter. Here we have taken an example of Twitter. We have Facebook as well. Okay, so it is a standalone independent application residing on your smartphone. So it is live on device and you can just access it with a tap on the icon. And how do you get it? You can actually get the application downloaded from the store. So for Android, it is on the Play Store. For you can get it from Apple Store on your iPhone devices. Samsung has its own store. So likewise, it can be downloaded from the stores, and it is very easy to install. And of course, it accesses all your device feature. Say for example, settings, location-based services, so it and maps and all those things. So that application can actually access your device features, and that's how it works. It can also work offline. Best example are games. So even if you are offline, even if you don't have a Wi-Fi or data connection, you can still play games, right? And the core important aspect of the native application is it is developed based on the SDK and the default language of the mobile platform. Say for example, Android, they use NDK with Java. Okay, and for iPhone, for example, it is like using Objective-C or a Swift language along with the iOS instrument. So this is in brief about the native application. Maybe by end of this session, I will also show you maybe a view of the mobile application where we can access and find the difference between the mobile, native, and web. Okay, next is the mobile web. So we can take the same example. So what mobile web is, it is actually the web application that you are accessing over mobile. Of course, the core development toolset that is required is similar to the web application. So for example, if you have to develop a web application, a desktop application, we use HTML, PHP, right? So for mobile web as well, it can be developed in HTML5, and it is as good as you can view the any web application on your desktop. However, the advantage here is, though it is a web application, it gives you a look and feel similar to that of a native application. So when we say hybrid, as the name itself lets you know, so what hybrid is, it is actually a blend of native as well as web. So the first feature, it is like partly native and web. The user experience is similar to that of a native application, and this hybrid application also resides on your Play Store. So similar to native app, you can just go to Play Store, search for the application and download it. However, the mobile web was different. It has to be accessed through your browser. And hybrid, here the important is it is a cross-platform, so you can build your application in any one platform, and you can deploy it to multiple platforms with very less efforts. And that is the reason most of the development or the designers, they actually go for the hybrid application development. And the skill set here required is actually similar to that of the web application. So again, this is one of the factors why people move to hybrid or prefer developing hybrid application, because the cost associated with it is actually minimal. So what this need is access to device, and since this is a web view which is wrapped in a native application, so it can also access your device features the way I mentioned it for the native application. So that applies for hybrid as well. And ease of development, of course. Now the technologies that are being used, they are actually helping or aiding in developing the application faster, so that the time to market is also reduced. All right. So though I'm covering all these aspects in brief, that's the reason we have some group sessions ahead, which will be detailed one. So since this is a very introductory session, I would like to cover them in brief so that you get a brief overview about it and get some insight on what we are going to cover in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so I think we already covered these mobile testing techniques. We actually have a detailed checklist. We have created a checklist wherein any mobile tester can actually refer to this list and carry out the mobile testing. And this checklist is going to cover all aspects which are enlisted here, right from the installation of the application, covering the functional aspect of it, covering the interruptions, the network specific test cases. Like for example, any application, if you have to test it in different set of networks, that is 2G, 3G, 4G or Wi-Fi settings with Wi-Fi network as well. Then what are the gestures that have to be tested? Store specific, because this is like, if you have to cover the different set of devices like Android, iOS, so you have to test the application from these stores as well. Accessibility, one of the very critical areas, the way I mentioned. So similar to security, performance, accessibility is also important. And yeah, so performance security is there. Device testing, this is to cover different set of devices, because every device has a different hardware configuration and screen sizes as well. So that is also something we are going to cover. And upgrade testing. Say for example, you are testing an application with version 1.0, and now you have to check whether the latest application that has been deployed by the developers, whether that is also functional or not. Then you have to upgrade it, right? Because the end user, if that person is going to use the application, is not going to uninstall and install the latest one. You do keep getting upgrades, right? You get to know on your mobile devices with a notification that okay, another new version is available. So if you get that new version, is your application really functional? So that is something we are going to cover in upgrade testing. This slide also represents the same challenges that we discussed. This is just a view of the operating systems that are available, which we are going to cover in detail in our testing. How do we go about Android application testing, iOS application testing? Now some aspects which are really important when we really have to work on ground perform mobile testing. Say for example, if no, you are a person who is going to conduct mobile testing, and your manager actually. So what all aspects do you really have to think of is something enlisted here. So how you can really make your testing easy, how you can have a better approach for conducting mobile testing. First and very important is optimum selection of devices. Every client expects to test devices, to test the application on the latest set. Consider the cost factor. Are we really going to get all set of devices that we have? So first and important thing is to understand from client what is their requirement, which set of devices they would like to cover. Then you have to think of how many devices you can really procure, or do you want to really go ahead with the simulators or emulators for testing your applications. So this is the this is the first important aspect towards it. Then next is better connectivity. As I said, we have to really understand how we can really test the application with different set of devices, because I have also conducted this mobile testing. So our client actually expects us to test on 2G, 3G. So we have some SIM cards procured. And then we also have to cover it with the Wi-Fi network. Now when we say connectivity, it is always not going to be very faster network that we have, right? So here comes into picture the throttling as well. So we have to test application in low connectivity as well. Now how do we simulate it is a totally different story. There are certain tools available in market which can help us in conducting those tests. We are going to cover that in our upcoming session. Okay, better tools, yes, we will cover that in more details, because when we say functional testing of the application, it is not just about what you can see on the UI, right? So there are certain web services as well which work in background. Now, how do we really understand whether those services are functional? So there are certain tools which using which we, if you test the application, you would understand whether the URLs are hit properly, whether the requests are sent properly, what response you are getting. You can really validate that using those tools. Simulators and emulators, as I already mentioned, we have to consider these factors as well when we have to conduct mobile testing for the optimum cost. Now, maximizing automation. Again, this is a very key factor. We all know why it is important, and Anthony mentioned we are going to cover a mobile automation, a separate group session. But then to put here in short, maximizing automation is important because, because in mobile application you cannot really conduct same set of test cases which are redundant. It is a very monotonous task if you have to conduct mobile testing, because every day you get a new build, and with every new build you have to conduct a smoke test, and covering all gestures, covering all basic navigations in a short time is very challenging and very critical. In that case, your automation is really going to help you. And maximizing automation, the more you maximize it, more it is going to add value to your client. And of course, if you have to go about automation, you have to understand what different selection criteria should we think of if you have to select test cases for automation. So I think we'll cover that more in detail when we go about the mobile automation. And then last but not least, what are the different best practices that you can apply? You have to conduct mobile testing. As I already mentioned, you can have a checklist ready with you which covers all basic tests related to installation, interruptions, performance, and security. Okay, so all aspects you can actually have a checklist ready. That is one of the best practices that you can apply here. Okay, so last I just wanted to share this YouTube link. Maybe I can drop this link on chat. This link is about the web page test. my basic session on YouTube about the mobile web performance testing. And here are certain references as well. You can contact me on my personal ID and my LinkedIn profile as well. So as I said, this was just an introduction. So just wanted to give a gist about it. We will be having detailed session moving ahead. So Anthony, can you just help me here? Should we go ahead with the question answers if you want, or you want to take it up ahead, maybe in the upcoming sessions?
Smita, I think we can have a QA session if they have any queries on the course content or whatever. I mean, the way we are going to, carry on with the sessions and so on.
All right. Okay. And I think before that, as I promised, I'll just use the Wiser application to give them overview about the application, how you can really view a device on your desktop. So I'll first cover that, and then Koli will go about the question and answers related to your any queries about the group session that we are going to have. So Wiser is a plugin using which you can actually, it is basically a viewer. So you can see your mobile device screen on your desktop using this application. So I'm just opening it now. So as you have seen on my screen, you can just go to Google, type Wiser, and you will get this link. So you have to just say launch application and find the devices. And of course, you have to just connect your device to your laptop or to your desktop using the USB cable. So I have already connected it, and as a reason I'm able to see my Nexus 5 here. And if I say select devices, this is how okay. So this is my mobile screen. I can just so whatever I'm doing on my mobile device, you are able to see it on the screen.
Ma'am, is this application work for iOS as well? Wiser?
No, Wiser won't work for iOS, but for iOS we have different set of devices, different set of tools available. Right now I don't recollect name, but I can share that with you later.
Okay.
So I just wanted to show you this application. So mostly when do we use this application is if you have to really share something with the bigger audience. Now the way I'm doing it now, even in our further group sessions, we would be having some practical scenarios to be tested. So in that case, I'm going to use my mobile device, and you will be able to see what I am performing on a device here. Okay. Also, we have used this in past for demonstrations to client. Because whatever you perform here, client can't really see, right? So in order to make it visible, you can use this application. Very easy to use, and it really has a lot of features, good features that you can leverage. All right.
Do you need, Smita, do you need drivers also for this? Or just plugging the USB cable between your computer and mobile is that enough?
Yes, that much is only enough. You don't really need any driver for it. In fact, if you have your machines right now in front of you, those who are connecting through the machines, they can actually try it now itself. So you can just take a cable, your USB cable, connect it to your machine, and on your machine, you just go to your any I think any browser, just type Pfizer, and I think you should be able to do it immediately.
Do it through web app only, or we can install it on our machine so that we don't require the connectivity, internet?
Yeah, I think I believe it does need a connectivity. So you can just download and add this plugin to your browser, and I think that should help you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello,
Hello.
Smita.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Actually, I joined this particular session on a later part. I think around after 3:20. So
Okay.
somehow I missed. I think I missed some of the sharing which you have previously said about the course content and how you will going to take some
Okay.
further sessions related to mobile testing. So can you please share
Okay.
some of the high level information related to it?
Yeah, sure. In fact, what we have done is we have also recorded this session. So I think Anthony is going to share this recorded session to all. But then still, we can still cover agenda in brief for you now. So what I mentioned is our first session is going to be an introductory. So the way I just covered different testing types and what approaches we can use for mobile testing. So this was just an overview session. So second session we actually plan to have is to focus more on the simulators, emulators, and how we can leverage cloud as well for emulators. That is going to be your second session. Third session we are going to focus on the navigation aspects, what gestures we have to cover, because UI perspective, navigation perspective, these things are very important, and how to really capture a screenshot and cover the network throttling test cases. Okay, so we have to test your application on low network as well as with a good network as well. And last but not the least, we are going to cover different non-functional requirements for the mobile application. That is compatibility testing, accessibility testing, and Valant is a tool how to view your web view for the hybrid applications, and the web page performance testing. So regarding this, I mentioned that I have already recorded one session which is available on YouTube that covers how to test your mobile web application using a web page test tool, which is actually a cloud solution. So that you can view on YouTube. I'll be sharing the YouTube link maybe end of the session. Yeah, I think someone has asked for that YouTube link. I'll just share it over this chat window.
Yeah, and one more thing.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Am I audible? You just
yeah,
give some of the introduction related to the native app, mobile web app, and also related to the hybrid app. Can you give perfect kind of example that which is like WhatsApp is a mobile app, means native app or hybrid app kind of thing?
Yeah, so WhatsApp is a native app. So it is a standalone application that resides on your device. It can access your features, device features, and it can be installed only through the stores. That is, no, if you have an Android phone, you have to go to Play Store, and you can download native application from your Play Store. Web app is something, it is similar to web application, the way you hit your URL on the browser on your desktop. Similarly, you can do it over mobile. Only thing here difference is it has to be responsively good. The UI should be responsive. It should not be scattered, because the view on mobile screen is different. It has to be different. Why? Because the screen size matters, right? So
Okay,
that is
means it
something
will
it
be
has to.
accessible through web page on.
Correct, correct. So when you say mobile web, it is web application that you are going to access through your browser on mobile device.
Okay.
Yeah, and
And
native is
hybrid?
something. Yeah, hybrid is actually similar to native application. Only thing the design perspective, the way it has been designed is actually it uses features of the native as well as web application, and that's the reason you see the name is given as hybrid. So it also resides on the store. Okay,
Okay.
and yeah, and it is actually cross-platform. So you can so development perspective, it can be developed in under one platform, and you should be able to deploy it on different set of platforms. Say for example, Android as well as iPhone.
Okay. Means
Right.
you
So
have just given the example of a. Sorry, I interrupt you. Sorry. Go ahead, please.
yeah, yeah. No problem. So you can go ahead with your query. Yeah.
So name you have mentioned like Instagram is a hybrid app. Like we can also access Instagram from our website, web page, and
Mhm.
also we have application stored in our mobile from the Android market. So it
Yeah,
is a kind
correct.
of a hybrid app.
Yeah. So, so so it is actually a web view which is wrapped in your native application. Okay, I'll give you one example. For example, a native application which gives a weather forecast, right? Now, in that application, there is a feature. If you click on, say, Facebook, it is going to redirect you to the Facebook page. Okay, so now what is happening is, though your application is native, it is redirecting you to the web page, right? So this
Yes.
integration is possible only in hybrid application.
Okay. Okay.
And this is more about the design and development perspective. See, for an end user, it might be visible or it can be a view similar to native application. But then if you see the background in the way it has been developed, it actually uses web technologies as well. And that's the reason we say that it is a web view which is wrapped in your native application.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the view is going to be similar to that of native app.
Okay. Thank you. I got clear bit about this kind of different type of apps. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. No problem.
Hi, Smita.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, my name is Shiva. Smita, just correct me if I'm wrong. With the
Mhm.
native app, with my knowledge, native apps are those apps which are like inbuilt apps, which comes with a
Mhm.
default or with your as of the mobile application, assuming you have a settings. Okay. Uh,
They may or they may not come as a default app. Nowadays, we have certain applications which are widely used. Then those applications are now coming as a default along with the devices.
what I was trying to ask was
Mhm.
the native apps, okay? Or the apps which usually the any manufacturer, assuming Samsung, you're using some ex Samsung phone, okay,
Mhm.
and those
Mhm.
Samsung phones gives you some applications like
Correct.
whether it is like content calculator, clock, certain things. It's not app
Yeah.
exactly, but those are
Mhm.
the inbuilt things. Whether those
Yes.
comes into native apps, right?
Yes. Yes. Those come under native app.
Okay. The hybrid
Yeah.
of I is nothing but the mixture of between like integration between like the application of native and the plugins, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Okay.
if you are using a map application, then you should be connected with the internet. Otherwise, you can.
Yes.
This also native app, but you should
Correct.
Map is actually, I think, hybrid app.
Map is
Either
okay.
you take
So,
Google Map or any
Take an
device.
example of a WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a completely native app. It really needs to have
WhatsApp is
internet
hybrid
connection.
app.
okay.
I'm talking about iOS map also. I'm talking about iOS app also.
So, Suren, do you
iOS
want to
map
answer?
is a
Hey, hello, guys.
Yeah, in App Store also it is hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would let
Hybrid app.
Suren handle few questions. Suren, do you want to answer this?
No, actually, yes, I would like to answer, but
Suren, we are not able to hear you. Can you bit loud?
just a second. Just hold a second for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is it fine now?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Anish, Smita, just let me know what exactly.
Hi. Your voice is very low. Can you just speak louder?
What? Just hold on a second.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
the maximum volume I have.
So,
is it fine now? Is it fine now? Is it better now?
Yeah, it is. It is better.
Yeah, it is better. I think.
Okay.
So Suren, here we are actually discussing. People have few clarifications about the native hybrid and the web application.
Okay.
So, do you want to clarify few? So, like for example, Maps or a WhatsApp. So, native application, they have a query. Like if application is native, will it work standalone without any internet connection?
It would to an extent. You know, the reason why I'm saying is, let's take a map. Somebody took a map example. So the map.
Your voice is not coming. The sound is not audible.
Hey Anish, this is a maximum I have in my computer. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah, right now it is coming properly. At that time it was breaking. Maybe network issue.
Okay, fine. I was just saying that if somebody was talking about map, okay, a native app would be working with you locally. So unless your native app is local, as Smita rightly pointed out, until you get in touch with any native or any web services which are going to interact from the data, okay, and till then it's going to be acting as native. You can still work on that particular native application. There is also another option which is coming up lately, which is nothing but your data from an offline mode. Okay, you guys work with maps, so in map also you have an offline mode where your content or your route gets captured in a particular region with the data. Okay, and when you have an offline mode in present, whatever area which you have covered can be used by a map without the internet. Okay, it's all depends on the data saved in your particular cache or in a particular device. Okay, did that answer your question?
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, is your question answered, or if you have anything, probably we can take it up. Let me know. So we had ideally planned for a 1 hour session. So Anthony, do we proceed, or how do you want to take it up, or we can have detailed session maybe in coming weekend?
Right. So if there are not much queries on the session or the methodology, I think we can close the session because we can take things in detail in the next session.
Yeah, because I think it will be more practical oriented if we go ahead with the next sessions. There I think we can resolve most of the queries.
Sure. So yeah, if we are, I think if we can close it now and probably take it up in the next session based on the conceptualizations.
Yeah, and Anthony, I also had a question like, do we have a platform where people can really post queries so that we are also prepared. If you have any questions, we can take up in the next session.
Yes, so that is where this Slack channel comes into
Slack,
picture.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. Good. Yeah. All right.
So thanks
Thanks,
everyone
Smita
for
and
joining.
Anthony.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks all for joining.
Yeah, Smita, thanks for your time. I think I've conveyed it to everyone. Let's
Okay.
take it up from next week onwards. Yeah.
Sure, sure. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks all. See you in next session. Bye-bye.